So hello and welcome to another video on the Retrobet channel. This week, once again, it's going to be a pick-up video. I've not been up to an awful lot else at the moment, time permitting, but thankfully was able to get out and have a look around and see what I could pick up. From those of you who watched the previous videos, you'll know that we try and do this on a limited budget, and once again we've clocked in well within that. I'm very pleased with what we managed to pick up. Some of it's going to be good, some of it's going to be bad, and some of you are going to think, why on earth you just not leave it on the shelf for, well, to rot or be thrown out because it's stuff that people don't collect. But as we know, I do try and do these things cheaply as possible, and as you can see from behind me, I am a collector and I do like to see lots of things on the shelf. Some people will go quite happily for a small collection of games that they want to play. I just like games in general. So let's start with what we've picked up this week, and done it in sort of three sections as it were. So we'll start with this one, and trying to find out which side we're going to go on. Go on that side. There we go. Hang on, let me try and get this right. There we go. Catwoman on the Xbox. Yeah, I know there's a history about this game. People will quite happily look at the reviews and been posted online about it. Even at the time it was regarded as a pretty terrible game, so it's another one for the Xbox collection. Nice bargain price to pick it up for as well. On to the next one, and I'm not very good, I'm sort of working back the front here, so you'll have to bear with me. So this one is MotoGP 2. There's two versions, two games of this on the Xbox. Not got either of them. That's the first one I managed to pick up. It's always good to see Xbox games because there weren't that many PAL releases as such, so it's good to see so many available in the shops, and still some you can pick up quite cheap. Quite some of the highly regarded titles are certainly quite expensive, but there are quite a lot of games you can pick up for practically next to nothing. So that's another good one there. And another Xbox game, which is brilliant, isn't it? There we go. This one, there we can see Amped 2. I don't actually have Amped 1 either, so there we go. It's a snowboarding game. I've got a few of those on other formats, but not any of the Amped series. So nice to see 3 Xbox games there, fairly cheap in themselves. Next one, thank you, Gene. And we have here Detonator on the PS2. That looks good, that does it. It's one of these games where I sort of look at the front cover, and again, if you've seen any of the previous videos, you'll sort of see, whoa, you seem to buy these games and say that they've got rubbish covers, and I like looking at a cover like that and going, I'll just put it on the screen again so you can see what I'm talking about. You know, it just looks, what's the word, I don't know, like it should be rubbish. I might be wrong, it might be a good game, I haven't played it yet. But I like things like that. I look at them and think, oh, maybe it's just worth it just buying for the cover. Got some interesting stories to tell about sort of games I bought previously, which I'm going into much more detail further on. Next one, this sort of flies in the face that I actually have a game called Quest for Sleeping Beauty on the PlayStation 2. Well, I now have Robin Hood's Quest with the added bonus of having Richard O'Brien and Matthew McFadden in it. Using their voices. Richard O'Brien I know from the Crystal Maze. Matthew McFadden, I think I know who he is. But even so, yeah, it doesn't look particularly good, but that's not really a prerequisite for me buying it. Is it cheap enough? Yes, there we go. Next one, purely because of what's going on in the news at the moment, we may be sort of heading towards a cold winter, or a nuclear winter, perhaps, I don't know. This is from Sierra on PS2. I actually quite like the look of this game. It's one of those covers I go, oh yeah, I quite like the look of that. You know, it looks like it's got no tux, no license, no mercy. You are Andrew Sterling, MI6 agent, disavowed, which implies it's going to be sort of one of these stealth spy type thing. I love stuff like that, so that's great. And then the last one, which I picked up on the first lot here, a game of a film, which is called the film is called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I've got no idea if that's any good either or not as well. If you ever go across to the website, which is www.retrosection.com, you'll see an article I wrote about 5-6 years ago about sort of video games that are made of films, and how some of them have a very good reputation, some of them have a pretty poor reputation indeed. There's more information on that one there. I haven't played Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It doesn't sort of surprise me as a sort of film you make a game on. I must be honest with you. So, if I can have those, thank you very much. Right, so those games there. Just try and keep out the light. £4.50 for the 7 of those, which I don't think was a bad price considering that Cold Winter was £1. So £3.50 for 6 of those. That's less than 60p a game. That's not bad, is it, really? Next shop I went into, and you might be surprised to see one of these. PlayStation 3 game, yes. We do have some PlayStation 3 games looking around here. Fight Night Round 3. Not sure about this one as such. I've not played. I've got some of the Fight Night games. I've not played them properly. A couple of things about this particular one. The cover itself is water damage on. It looks like water damage on the inside. I'm also pretty convinced that the marking down here, which is the rating, is actually a non-UK version. So I have to see what it is. But anyway, I'm not going to knock PS3 game. I won't get the price in a minute as the price it was. Next up, more PS2 stuff for you. This is Dancing Stage Mega Mix. This is the one which sort of sparked the arcade setup for dancing machines with the big squares on the floor. I've got Dancing Stage Fusion. It says songs including, and I've only recognised one of them off the back, and even having sort of had a quick look around YouTube on the track listing for that particular game, I can recognise maybe 2 or 3, so either I'm getting old or they just passed me by. Probably both. You can see where I come from on these sort of things. Here we go, FIFA 2003. Believe it or not, I hadn't actually got that game. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 on PS2, but not 2003. So another one there for the why have you bought another FIFA game duplicated boys? I don't know, but there we go. This one's an interesting one. This is Flow Urban Dance Uprising, which if I read the back it says the foundation of hip-hop is self-expression. Can you think of anything more silly than me trying to do something like that? Even when I was younger. So it'll be interesting to see how we get along with this one. I've had a quick scan through the tracks. I've got no idea. I don't know if this is a dance mat game. I don't know if it's a simple case of using the joypad. We shall have to see. It's enhanced with iToy, which is great because, as you can see, I've got one just there. Yep. So quite happy to see what we go along with that one, whether it's any good or not. For what you won't see there, incidentally, in this little pile, I'll get to in a minute after this one, which is Mike Tyson's Heavyweight Boxing. And I'm pretty sure this was Codemasters using the game engine they had on Prince Nassim Boxing before he had certain issues, and then they applied it to Mike Tyson, who probably had certain issues as well. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of boxers across the top whose names I sort of recognise, like Harrison, Botha, Holmes, Rahman, Witherspoon, Tua, Tyson, obviously. But beyond that, I don't know. But I quite like boxing games, and one of the back in the day, Frank Bruno's boxing on the Commodore 64, Punch Out on the NES. There was another boxing game I remember put quite a lot of time into on the Amiga, which was World Championship Boxing Manager, which was completely different. It was actually sort of like a Championship Manager Football Manager style game. I think I might have a copy of that somewhere. It would be great fun to dig out. Anyway, Mike Tyson there. The one game you won't see in that little section there, which I bought in the same place, is Wii Fit. The reason you won't see that is because I've already got it. And if you remember from my last video last week, there was a Harvest Moon game which had a pretty tatty cover, so I bought the Wii Fit game to replace the cover with. Always a good tip there if you can find them cheap enough and you've already got a game, just stock up on covers. It's covers and boxes, because it's great thing to do when things like FIFA will be massively produced and being sold off so cheaply in Game Station and Game at 5p each. It was a good time to pick things up. It's changed a bit now, but there we go. So that game, which I've now replaced on the shelf there, and those 5, I must get the light sorted now. I do apologise for that. £2 for those 6, so that's fantastic. So we're up to £6.50 already, and we've got what, 3, 4, 13 games, 2 to go. All PlayStation 2 stuff, and this is Energy Air Force Air Strike, which again I thought was quite appropriate after what's happened this weekend. from 505 Games. It's a flight simulator. We haven't got many of these. I've got a couple. Sky Odyssey, I think, is the main one I've come across on PlayStation 2, which Peter talked about, bought that quite a few weeks ago. Again, not really sure if it's any good or not, but it was not very much. And also a GameCube game as well, WrestleMania 18. I already have this, but I bought it years and years ago and completely forgotten that the disc inside it was completely scratched to pieces. Honestly, it was absolutely shocking. So I managed to pick up a replacement for this. So that is a replacement game for one I've already got. I've also therefore now generated a GameCube case. A few months ago I managed to buy a copy of the Scorpion King on GameCube, and when I actually opened it up in the shop, although the manual was still Scorpion King and the front cover was still Scorpion King, the game inside was Star Fox Adventures, which was brilliant because I bought that game for £1.50, and Star Fox Adventures can be anything sort of 5 to 15 quid. So that's a bit of a bonus for me, so I can swap those around. So this weekend, all told, £8 spent, which I think is a bit of a result, and the game's clocking in at around about just somewhere between 50 and 60 pence for the whole lot, which I think is a pretty good go round. So that's this week's stuff I managed to pick up. I've actually this afternoon purchased 3 more games off Amazon, which I will do another video about when they arrive. They should hopefully be here tomorrow, so some later on this week. So next weekend, not quite sure what we're going to do. I sort of went to 3 different locations close to me to pick that stuff up. I may go a bit further afield. I might have done that this week, but I wasn't really feeling it. I'll see how next week goes. We might go a bit further afield. Don't forget to sort of check through the site. We've got some Commodore 64 videos. We've now also, I'm pleased to say, set up all the video equipment and the recording equipment, so hopefully I can start doing some gameplays as well. Now that's all been sorted out, and we shall see where we go from there. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.